Welcome to the joy of coding.
Hello, and welcome to episode 77 of The Joy of Coding. My name's Mike Conley. We're going to be hacking on Firefox today. We're going to be doing some interesting stuff. We're going to be filing a bug. We're going to be doing some investigation. It's actually kind of neat. We're going to be doing an investigation using a technique where I debug my virtual machine from my host machine, or at least I'm going to try. We're going to see if we can make that work. I'll explain in just a second. So let me share my screen. Boop. Hopefully you can see this, and I'm going to bump up the font. So today is October 26th, and just a reminder that even though I've got this agenda here, because that's what this is a kind of an agenda. I should point out that no plan survives breakfast. I might go totally off the rails. This might go horribly wrong. I haven't rehearsed anything that I'm about to show you. This is me just live hacking, and who knows what'll happen. So we'll try and stick to this if we can, but if we can't, well, that's okay. Um, the blah, 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 blah. What are we doing here? The There are a couple things I'm hoping to do today. Well, first of all, I should point out that this agenda that I'm looking at right now, if you are watching this on Air Mozilla, if you scroll down to the additional links section, there should be a link to it, a link to the agenda, and also a link to rate the episode once you have, like, I don't know, some feedback to give me about the episode. I'll happily read your feedback. Let's see, what else? So yeah, go ahead and check out that agenda. If you're watching this on YouTube, check out the video description. It'll have that information as well on how to get to the agenda. This agenda will update over time. Like as I add things to it, because it's possible I might edit it, it'll sync, and then if you reload the page, I think it should have all the updates. There's also like a glossary of some terms I might bandy around, and also information on how to join me in the IRC channel that we have for live hacking, #livehacking. There's links to other live hackers in the Mozilla community or in the wider development community who have sent me links, so you can check those out. Anyways, let's get started. What am I doing today? Well, the first thing I want to do is I want to file a bug. So just sort of a broad overview of sort of some of the stuff I've been working on lately. I've been working on making tab switching faster. So if you have E10S, which is multi-process Firefox, and if you may or may not have noticed this phenomenon where you're attempting to switch tabs, and then the tab that you switch to will show this like little spinner thing, and then eventually the content will show up. Well, we're trying to get rid of that as much as possible. That's like my mission for this quarter. And one of the things we've done recently is we've been using this thing called background hang monitor to give us data. So we have a very precise notion of when we've started the tab switch and when we finished painting. And we're using the background hang monitor to gather stacks for if we hang in between that start and end point. And if we do, well, then those stacks are sent to us using telemetry, and we can use some analysis to like extract those stacks and prioritize them based on how frequently these stacks show up. And one of the stacks that's shown up is this one, or it's not a stack. What I've noticed is that we send a synchronous message from the content right here in this thing called the app service child. Now, app service is actually a thing that we used to ship as part of B2G, but we shipped it as part of desktop as well, and we're actively attempting to tear it out. But this synchronous message is being sent from the content process whenever you start a new content process. It happens once, but if you've just started the browser, the browser's already doing busy stuff, and then content sends a synchronous message that's blocking painting, and if the browser is like busy, well, then this synchronous message will take a while to get resolved by the parent, and meanwhile the content's blocked and it can't paint. So that is a thing we should probably get rid of. So I suspect that this might be contributing to the spinner that people might see whenever they're starting a brand new content process, or if they're just starting the browser for the first time and their initial tab is pointed to like a website like About Home or any sort of remotely hosted site. So I'm going to file a bug to get rid of this message. Now, I was talking to one of the developers that is responsible or is part of getting rid of DOM apps, which is the app service, because we don't need it anymore because we're not shipping B2G anymore. We don't support it in Mozilla Central. So they're trying to remove it in a very deliberate way by slowly getting rid of the parts that call into it from desktop or from the engine before getting rid of the directory entirely. But we might be able to get rid of the synchronous message sooner rather than later, and that would be good. So let's file a bug to do that, and I'm going to show you how I file that bug. So I'm going to file it under, well, I'm going to see if there's one, like a component for apps, like DOM apps. There is a component for core DOM apps. And once Bugzilla sorts itself out, I'm going to say get rid of synchronous message. Here, I'm going to pump up the font so you can see what I'm doing. Get rid of synchronous message. Um, get rid of synchronous message from app service child. And then where's it called? App service child in DOM application registry init. DOM application registry. Application registry.init. And now I'll give some feedback or like some context about what I'm doing here. We send a synchronous message when initting DOM application registry right here, and then I'll give a permalink to the line of code that's there. This is showing up in the stacks that we're getting when the stacks that we're getting while for things that are blocking or slowing down tab switch and are contributing to tab switch spinners. We're getting rid of DOM apps anyways, but that's a longer process. Perhaps we can kind of just remove this message since I don't think desktop cares about apps, the DOM apps API. Apps, not with a Z, with an S. API anyways. So that's a theory. And then I'm referring to another bug that I was told about where we're removing the DOM app stuff, and I should put a link to it. And that was bug 1291291. Well, that's a good bug number. We're getting rid of DOM apps anyways, and then the bug number. Look at that bug number, 1291291. That's a great bug number. And it blocks, I'll say that, and it also blocks, so we have a bug for get rid of synchronous message, or sync messages. Identify and reduce sync messages, that's the one. So we're going to block that, we're going to block that. And actually, this one, I had just attached a bug. The 1291291. I should get rid of that entry 1291. Where is it? What? Didn't I just add it? 129 depends on 129. Oh, there it is. Okay. Save changes. Yes, and we should also make sure that it's known that this is a meta bug. Yeah, keywords meta. Okay. And now we're blocking the right things and we're filing it, and I'm going to CC the engineer who talked to me about filing this and submit. So now that bug is filed. So this might be a really cheap and easy way of making tab switch and window opening faster, which would be good. What else? Like that's it. That's all we want to do here. We are done. Filed bug. Filed at there. So Done. Now, what's the next thing I want to work on? So we have this set of MSU, Michigan State University hackers. Some of them who might be watching this video right now. Hello. I know at least one of them is watching it live. He told me he enjoyed the theme music, so thanks, Jared. Um, that theme music is from my friend Barn, and quick plug, that's from my band. Barn is the singer for my band, and if you're interested in finding out more about my band, you should check out the music video that we just released. So plug, here's a quick plug. Quick plug. My band just released a new music video. So if you want to see me making an ass of myself, check out that link. Um, okay, so we have these students who are hacking on the select dropdown that we have with E10S. So that's the pop-up that you see whenever you go to like any site that has a select. So even like Bugzilla has these select things. So these are select drop downs, and this pop-up is what they're working on. And like there are a couple of things that are going on. One thing, some restyling is being done. The second thing is for very long lists, we're adding a filtering tool at the top that allow you to search and select just the right item. And the last thing is that we have these two mechanisms. Oh, there's also like work to vertically center the pop-up in the right place uh, when possible. And so the last thing that I'm actually focusing on today, a pair of the students are working on combining the non-E10S and E10S mechanisms that we use for select. So if you take a look at the non-E10S select pop-up, you'll notice that it's quite different. This is what it looks like. And then here's this is the E10S mechanism. The E10S mechanism actually looks more native. It's using native styling, and we have a lot more control over it because it's drawn using, it's drawn and styled using markup and CSS, whereas this is like hand drawn using like native painting code in the guts of the engine, where like styling this sort of thing is really, really difficult. So we're trying to combine the two mechanisms so that E10S and non-E10S share it. They share the same mechanism, and then we can like all those improvements that those MSU students are making will work for both E10S and non-E10S. And the other benefit is that we only have like one code path we need to care about when we're fixing bugs and working on bugs and stuff, and they'll behave the same. So that's really, really nice. And there's a problem. There's a problem with one of the students have done the work. They've actually gotten the work, gotten a patch up that does the work of combining the E10S and non-E10S mechanisms. But there's a problem, and let me show you what the problem is. I actually have a debug build. But let me see if I can get an opt build for speeds. For speeds, I'll show you an opt build with their patch. So I'm going to build that right now. Going to reticulate some splines. Hopefully this doesn't take too long. But I'll show you the bug. Actually, maybe I can show you the bug over here in my Ubuntu VM. Because here's what we're going to do today. I'll kind of explain what's going to happen. The bug that I care about is what occurs whenever you click and hold the mouse button on a select. So if you do that in non-E10S right now, you click and hold and you drag, you can like this is a muscle memory thing where some people have gotten used to this ability to click and hold and then drag and then release their mouse button. And that's something that we support with non-E10S as well, where you know, click and hold, and then we can drag. Now the problem is that with their patch, this is broken. And we don't exactly know why. Like, I don't want to fix it. I want to find out why it's broken. And that's really hard to do with a debugger whenever you're using the same machine to debug like a program that's running in that machine whenever you're dealing with mouse focus, because you like click on a thing and you might try and move your mouse, and then the debugger takes focus, and then while you're debugging, you're stepping through, you've changed things, you've changed focus, and so that change of focus event will get filtered through whenever you're debugging. It's actually really, really difficult. And so what I'm going to try and do is recreate the bug here in my Ubuntu VM, and then I've created a tunnel, a networking tunnel, using the like VMware networking mechanics to make it possible for me to SSH into my VM here, and then I'm going to use GDB from my host machine, so OS X, to debug what's going on inside the VM. And I'm doing that because whenever you switch away from the Ubuntu VM, the applications inside the VM don't know that you switched away. They like if I were to like switch away from the VM right now and move my mouse, if I switch back, only when I switch back does it like know that I moved the mouse. And I could probably even turn that mouse stuff off, like that mouse capture off. There's probably a way for me to do it. Like release, like if I hit, yeah, it's telling me in the corner, release the mouse, press Control Apple um, to release mouse. Like there's a way of doing it. I'm just trying to remember how to do it here. General. There's like something about keyboard and mouse, profile, where I'm like, I care about like flipping in and flipping out. Synchronized time, hardware disk buffering, no, that's not it. Display, no. Location menu, no. Come on, what is it? I was already here in advanced. Where is it? 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 It's under like, maybe it's under the profile here. Edit profile. Keymac Fusion shortcuts. Default applications, general. That's not right. Maybe I have to tell Fusion up here. I don't want to get too like distracted. Single window, Unity, full screen. There's definitely a way for me to like have to click in to resume the mouse. But you know what? I'm gonna ignore it. We're just gonna try and move forward. So let me show you the bug. So I've got their patch applied here in my tree, and I've got a bunch of windows that I'm gonna restore here. So I'm gonna open this tab in a non-ETNS window, and so look, like this looks different than whenever we have. Like this is what the non-ETNS pop-up looks like. It's like on OS X it's white and it's kind of got that black border around it. And that's not what we want. And with their patch applied, here's the select pop-up. I'm going to zoom in. We get the proper pop-up that's not white, and that's good. But now I'm going to click and hold, and here's the bug. Like I've lost the click hold release ability. So why is that happening? That's the mystery. That's what we're trying to solve today. I'm going to quit my outer browser here, and we're going to see if we can reproduce that bug in a non-E10S window here in Linux. Because if we can't, well, this is going to be a lot harder. So hopefully there is in my history, there's some kind of like select demo HTML. I just need some kind of select pop-up. Here we go. W3 schools. Perfect. We'll open a new tab. And if you're wondering why it's so janky, it's not your frame rate, it's not your network. I'm using a debug build, so everything here is a little bit slower. So I'm going to click. And hey, oh, I forgot. This is the old school pop-up. We're actually I have to flip a pref. So the two students, the engineers who have been working on this bug, they've added a pref that you have to flip in order to activate their work. And that's important because we might need to turn what they ship off if things go wrong with it instead of backing out their patch. So now that I've flipped the pref, it should take effect live. And yes, I can reproduce the bug. Look, this is not happening. I'm not getting the mouse events. No mouse events. Okay, so let's see if we can figure out what's happening. And if this doesn't work, then we might try a different tactic, and I'm going to prepare that different tactic just in case this doesn't work. And I'll explain what the different tactic is in just a second. Um, so the different tactic is we can use RR to try and reproduce the bug, but I have to use RR on a different machine, which I've SSH'd into here. And so I'm going to kick off a build on that machine now, so that if this doesn't work out, then hopefully by the time that we realize that, the machine will be done the build, this machine over here. So trying to parallelize, trying to plan ahead, plan for the worst, just in case things go wrong. And I know I'm like, it feels like my focus is flying all over the place, and that's because it is. And this checkout is going to take a little while, about another minute. So while we're doing that, let's see if we can SSH into this virtual machine. So I'm going to open up a new terminal, and let's find out. I copied down what was my IP address. I have to open a terminal. 10242. This is the IP address that I need to SSH into. Whoop. So I'm going to do that. Mike Conley, that's my Ubuntu password. So now I've SSH'd into the virtual machine, and now I can like do sudo gdb, and now I'm going to attach. I'm going to find what the parent process PID is. It's probably 34991, but I should be sure. So I'm going to scroll around looking for, oh, it's 34936. That's right here. Parent 34936. That's the process number, 34936. So I'm going to attach the parent 34936 because it's the parent, because it's the non-ETNS case we care about. So that means the content process we don't care about. It's the parent process case, or the parent process we care about. So attaching there. Meanwhile, how's that checkout doing on that other machine? Okay, we're done the checkout. So now we'll take a look. I'm going to update to the tip and then kick off a build. And GDB finished attaching over here on the virtual machine. Roopadoo. Oh, I've got uncommitted changes. Don't care about them. Destroy them. Okay, now update to the tip. Update, update, update. Okay, and now I don't think I have to do anything. Like, I think I'm using debug by default. Or maybe I do. I'm going to do mozconfig debug. Mock build. I'm actually, before I do that, I'm going to do screen. Do I already have a screen session? No. I'm going to start a screen session so that I can detach from this machine. Because sometimes if you just let it sit there, you'll detach automatically, and that's no good. So I'm going to do mozconfig debug mock build. So now I'm building, and now I'm going to detach. Control A, Control D, and now if that detach means that I can disconnect from this SSH session. I can disconnect from the machine. I could get off the network, but if I reconnect to the network, SSH back into the machine, and then do screen-R, well then it's still going. Like this terminal session is being kept alive, and that's what screen's very useful for. If you're not familiar with screen, check it out. So Control A, Control D to disconnect. Yeah, some of the keyboard shortcuts are a little arcane. I completely agree. And we'll come back to Hawkman is the name of the machine if it turns out that this virtual machine stuff is not going to pan out. Meanwhile, so we're attached by GDB to the parent process, and where do we care about? Where are we going to set breakpoints? That's a great question because I don't know. I have some notion that probably the event state manager might be the best place. So event state manager is kind of like this very important component of Firefox and Gecko that knows how to dispatch events. Like I think this is one of the things that does event dispatch delegation, and so it knows how to like set pointer lock. It knows how to like generate mouse enter and exit events, pointer exit events. Um, it notifies when we mouse over things, like that sort of stuff. So um, there's got to be an interesting place in here where we could like set a breakpoint and try and see what's going on. One of the things I saw earlier was that like there's this code. Where is it? Like frame. Last over frame was one thing, um, but I think yeah, exit from widget. This is actually the window mouse exit or pointer leave event. We're not moving into any new element. Window mouse exit. Sweet. If there's a last frame we were over, and we get the top level widget, the mouse pointer out event doesn't have the same top widget. It's a spurious event for last over frame. Otherwise, we'll do a notify mouse out. So like, I wonder if this check this is one place. So is it possible that this check is causing us to like exit? So I'm going to set a breakpoint here on line 4308. So break event state manager. Hopefully you can see. Yeah, you can. Okay, event state manager. Whoops, manager. I'm gonna pump up my font again, and then bring this up a little. Whoop. Event state manager dot cpp line 4308. Let's see if we hit it during the. Oh, broken pipe. What? What happened? There was some kind of broken pipe, but I continued through it and it somehow survived. So anyways, let's try to ignore that. Uh, we have our non-Ethernet tab here, or we should anyways. We're gonna hopefully this process is gonna wake up in a second. Hello? Oh yeah, it's waking up. It's doing stuff. Just need it to service some events. Come on. No active window. Oh, come on. I was so set up for this. Okay, I'm going to give it 5 more seconds before I start this again. Oh, there we go. There we go. It heard me. Okay. So I'm going to click, hold, and drag. Now, I don't know if I've hit my breakpoint. I don't think I have because the process is still running. So that's not it. That's not what's happening. So I'm going to delete that breakpoint. Delete one, continue. So where's another good place? So if it's not here, the clue that I got, because I've been talking to some other developers about this, select, there's like this combine select. This is the bug for it. I linked to it in the agenda. There was some talk. The test is checking. So the reason that we know that this is broken is because there's a test for it. The test is failing, and then Neil says that the specific mouse capture being tested doesn't apply to non-ETNS. The code in the test suggests that it should still work in non-ETNS. I suspect it might be some code which prevents mouse down, mouse move, and mouse up events from dispatching across different frames. I don't recall where this happens, probably in Event State Manager or Pres Shell. And then I asked Felipe if he knew where in Event State Manager where that sort of thing might be, that kind of protection. So this is the sort of, these are the clues that we've got. Something inside either Event State Manager or Pres Shell, according to Neil, is probably preventing us from dispatching events across frames, because we've got 2 frames here. You've got the content, and then you have the frame of the pop-up that we're creating. So I'm going to just look for the keyword frame. When dragging from one frame to another, so that is exactly what we're doing. We're doing a drag, click drag. Events are fired in order. So I wonder, Are you sure it didn't hit? It looked like it did, but your C-spam buffered. Okay, Brenny thinks I may have hit the breakpoint. Let's test it again. Let's add a new that breakpoint again, and then let's try it. Let's try it out. Let's try it out. So click, hold, and then move. No, I definitely didn't hit it because the browser is still active. Like it's still, I haven't. Oh, oh, did I hit it? I did hit it, but it wasn't during. That's the interesting part. It wasn't during the part that I care about. So like, let's try that again. If I click, come on, wake up, wake up, wake up. It's when I click away. It's like click and hold, it's still awake. And I know that because I don't know if you can see this, but the browser is still alive because I'm restyling this thing when the mouse enters and exits it. I do hit the breakpoint if I like release, it seems, or like maybe whenever I move the mouse out of the content area. I don't actually know. What's the rule? What's the rule for hitting that? There, I hit it now. I generated a mouse enter exit, but it doesn't look like it's the area I care about. So I'm gonna delete that breakpoint again. I don't think it's the area we care about. But thanks for bringing that up, Brenny. Good point. Good point. That is, we were hitting it. For folks who have ideas on where, like, if I want to really shout out to Brenny for like interacting with me here and helping me out. If you're interested in helping out, dive into the hash live hacking IRC channel, and if you've got some ideas, let me know. Just say my name so that I know that it's like happening, and I'll respond to you. We can interact. You can give me your ideas. Feed me your ideas. Um, so let's see if there's a place where we start a drag. I'm going to use the term drag here, and I'm going to like drag start, I think is one of the names of the events. Drag start. Ah, click hold context menu. An external drag gesture event came in, not generated internally by Gecko. Make sure we get rid of the click hold timer. There's a click hold timer. What is this? Kill click hold timer. Let's see if we're entering this. 720. Like I don't even know what that is, but let's break there. 720. Okay. Click drag. No, still alive. Content process is still alive because I can see the thing doing. But if I drag like this, still alive. Like I don't know if I ever hit the breakpoint. I didn't, so that's no good. So delete that breakpoint. So not there. Where else? Where else? Well, hang on. I should make sure that I set a breakpoint in the right place. So list. Where did I set it? 720. We'll list that area. So 720. Yeah, it looks like we never entered here. Okay. Where else? Drag, 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 drag. Event, drag event class. May invoke drag session. So there might be a drag session. Send real drag event. So maybe here's dispatch cross process event. We definitely don't want to do that, but let's see what happens whenever we like. Let's break here and take a look at this because it works. Here's the thing: this works in the non-E10S case, and that's really interesting because it's usually the other way around where things work in the non-E10S case. But so I'm gonna break at that line. I got a feeling I'm gonna hit this a lot, and this might not be useful. Oh wow, I'm not hitting it at all. All right. Well, I guess there may be something earlier in the call stack. Like maybe it's never called because there's something else that's checking like, is this a remote browser or something? Okay, so not that. Drag. Drag, 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 drag. And this is what? Cross-process safe event. So we have some set, I guess we don't care about that. Handle cross-process event, we don't care. Fire context click. If we're this far, our timer is fired, which means the mouse has been down for a certain period of time, has not moved enough to generate a drag gesture. We can be certain the user wants to context click. I don't think we're context clicking here. I'm pretty sure that's not what this is, but let's just double check. Let's check that assumption. We're going to set a breakpoint. Fire context click. Whoa, it's never heard of it. Is this like if def'd out? Create click hold timer. Maybe let's set it there. Why would it never have heard? What? Why has it never heard of this before? So I'll set it at line 1495 anyways. 1495. 1495. Yeah. Break. And break. Okay, so back to our VM. Click, hold, drag, nothing. Not entering the breakpoint. Okay, delete 5. Not what we care about. Which I kind of suspected. A context menu used triggered by right-clicking. Now, what about this? Begin tracking drag gesture. Record that the mouse has gone down, that we should move to tracking state of a drag and drop gesture. Huh. Let's see if we can hit that. Why has it never heard of this before? What thread is this? Current thread, I'm in, yeah, that's right. It's the main thread. Right? Yeah. Yeah, I'm in the main thread. Yeah, that's good. Why has it never heard of this before? Well, if it's never heard of it, then we've never entered it. I'm pretty sure we've never entered it, but just in case, let's break at 1620. Maybe there's some kind of like builds. Aha! I've hit my breakpoint. So begin tracking drag gesture. We're in a drop down. We're in a down event. If down event, ref point, minute down frame, gesture down content, get content, get some modifiers, get down buttons. If we have a click hold, we don't have a click hold context menu, so we just bail out. So good news is we're attached to the right thread. We can set breakpoints, and the breakpoints are working, but I don't think that was the right one. Wasn't the right one. Begin track, but actually, what we should do, we should put that breakpoint back and look at the backtrace and see where we came from. Let's put that breakpoint back and see where we came from. Okay, where'd we come from? Backtrace. Woo! So we're handling an event, a position event. The view says process untransformed APZ event. Okay, on a button press. So we're actually reacting to the click, not the move. Pre-handle event, and then it thinks we're maybe doing a drag gesture. Okay. So, don't actually care. That might be interesting, this drag gesture business. Because we might be like, what is this click hold context menu business? UI click hold context menus. Let me just double check what that is. On the Macintosh, many users do not use two mouse buttons. In the mid-90s, Netscape started using the convention of click and hold to provide access to the context menu. Afterwards, Apple standardized control click. For backwards compat, Mozilla still supports click and hold. Really interesting. But I'm pretty sure it defaults to false. Okay, so this is not a thing. This click and hold business. Begin, was it track, drag, drag gesture, begin tracking drag gesture, and left button, and that's on mouse down because like pre-handle event on mouse down we begin tracking. On mouse up we do this. Mouse enter into widget. In some cases on E10S, uh, event was sent twice into child process of content, something or other. And when we exit from a widget, if we're in the content process, maybe this is it. When we exit from the widget, flags helps to suppress double event sending in a process of content. If the event is not a top-level window event, then it's not really an exit. We may have traversed widget boundaries, but we're still in our top-level window. Pointer move. When we exit from the widget, let's take a look at this. 673. This is going to be tricky because, like, event state manager 673, was that it? 673. I think we're going to hit this like immediately as soon as I like put my mouse on stuff. Oh, no. Okay. But when I click and drag, we've hit it. Begin tracking drag. Oh, that's the old one. Disable. Disable 7. Continue. Nope. Not 7 or 8. Delete 7, delete 8. So we never entered exit from widget. Before I was looking for query content event. I was looking for the word frame because that's the term that that Neil used in that bug comment. And so maybe I'll just keep hunting around here for the word frame. See if there's any kind of like reference to like crossing frame boundaries. Or maybe I should look for boundary. Generate mouse enter exit. The pointer's locked. The pointer's not located. If the pointer is locked. No, we don't have pointer lock at this point. Mark remote content as panable. And decide gesture event. No, I don't think that's it. Generate mouse enter exit. Mouse movement is reported. Oh, we're back where we started. Man. Cross. How about cross? Cross process? No. Okay, what about inside pres shell, which might be somewhat smaller? Frame. Event dispatching callback. Handle event. Some kind of visitor. When we handle an event, events set. Pending notifications. Dispatch legacy mouse scroll events. Frame get current event frame. Is target iframe or like compatibility. Frames will be torn down. Frame. What am I doing? I'm kind of flailing, but this is not unusual, like because this is very sort of unfamiliar code, and I'm kind of looking for a needle in a haystack. Um, Set drag, maybe release capturing content. That sounds interesting. Set drag state, frame selection, drag state. Set capturing content. Now this is what's called whenever we start the drag. Set pointer capturing content. What's the difference between set pointer capture? Pointer events, gotcha. That's what it is. Release pointer capturing content. So let's see. Let's see. Like normally what I do, just this VM thing isn't turning out as nicely as I wanted it to. Normally what I'd do is I'd actually have two machines. Um, and like one where I have my mouse on one, my mouse hand over here, and then I'd be like debugging with the other hand. It sounds really like cool, but it's kind of awkward. And but at the very least, I could like keep the state over here and then like debug with the other hand. Um, Set capturing content to null and then no flags, just like 0. Now whenever I click, I'm still not capturing. Drag. So we're not capturing content. At least I don't think we are. And then, so we never captured. We never did mouse capture. Okay. Even if we did, like maybe it's using the same mechanism. Pointer lock or capture. If capture ignore allowed or capture pointer lock, capture retarget to element. Who responds to that? Or who? That's inside this massive handle event thing. If a capture is active, determine if the dock shell is visible. If not, clear the capture, target the mouse event normally instead. This would occur if the mouse button is held down while a tab change occurs. If the dock shell is visible, so this sounds related. I'm going to set a breakpoint here at 7519. Disable 9, continue. Nope, that's not it. Unless we're supposed to be entering this. No, I don't think we are. But maybe if we aren't starting our event dispatch from the root frame of the root pres context, then someone must be capturing the mouse. Event is using coordinates, release pointer capture. Don't retarget capturing content. Pointer events enabled, safe to run script. As pointer events enabled. Maybe I should ask for help. You know what? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask somebody for help. I know of someone who might know this code. I'm going to see if they know. I'm going to ask them off screen if I can talk to them live. Well, first of all, I'll ask if they know this stuff so that I don't waste their time. Meanwhile, find frame targeted by input event. If target and not any target get content for event, well, touch that target. That's for capture retarget. Cats. Do you happen to know if and where we deal with mouse drag events that occur across frame boundaries? Example, suppose I were to click On a select inside some web content, same process. This is none. So same process. Then drag, not release the button, over some Zool. Do you know some kind of mechanism that would prevent dispatching on content widget? Okay. Here's the question I've basically asked. Suppose I were to click on a I basically described the issue, and I said, do you know if we have some kind of mechanism that will prevent dispatching mouse events to the panel? Because that's what the e2nes pop-up is kind of a panel. If they'd originated on a web content widget. So we'll find that out shortly. If he knows, he's like, I'm not really sure. That sounds like DOM events question, probably for Smaug. Cool. We'll redirect. Thanks. So I'm going to ask Smog instead. One second, one second. Ping him. Is there anything about like boundary? Bounds relative to target. Bound. Okay. Hey, I'm basically going to repeat the question. I'm going to copy and paste the question. Hold on a second, just copying and pasting the question. Unfortunately, I asked it over too many lines. This is taking a second. Okay, I have asked the question. Meanwhile, I'm going to keep looking. Walk frames through placeholders. Bound. Bound, bound. Accumulate frame bounds. Find the bounds the record want to scroll into view. This is about scrolling. That's not exactly it. Paint. About painting. How about drag? Do you have the term drag in here? Capture. M allowed. False. Disable mouse capture until the next mouse down as dialog is opened or a drag is started. G capture info. Clear mouse capture on view. Smog says, Event Stage Manager checks the active event state manager and in some cases prevents other ESMs to get the events. Something like that. I had some code to deal with that, but it was years ago. Checks the active event state manager. Active, active, active. Active, active, active. Like event state manager. AESM. So there are multiple ESMs, and find this out. Checks the active event. So we must have some kind of active one. Set active manager. We can set it so we have the static S active ESM. and then we check. So there's one active at a time, and we set content state. So we set the S active ESM. Let's see what we do with it then. Event state manager. Here's some kind of drag thing. Generate drag gesture. Started event stop propagation. Our active set content state. Set content state. So here's the event state manager. Set content state. If it's active, you see the state is allowed by style. If it's active, active content equals content. Drag over. Okay. Okay. So I think what's happening, oh, okay. Okay, so when dragging over from web content to the Zool panel, we're effectively switching ESMs, right? In some cases prevents other ESMs to get the events. Or that's what we're supposed to do. Right, the Zool document has its own ESM. Do you know where this, set, yeah, event, set content state, set active manager. Let's see where this is called. Set active manager. Button element, state manager, when we set active manager here. Where are we? On mouse down. Post handle event. We will set the active manager. Be different if one has select pop-up open. The pop-up lives in Zool document. Right, that's kind of what I'm attempting to deal with here. Hoping to combine the E10S and non-E10S mechanisms. But now when I click and hold in the non-E10S case, the Zool pop-up is not getting the mouse events. Drag over it. But works fine in the E10S case because I guess we're doing something special. But I don't know what that special thing is and whether non-E10S can or should too. So set active manager does this. Left mouse was set capturing we got a mouse up event while mouse down event was being processed. Make sure the capture count is cleared. Oh, for remote content, capture the event in the parent process at the Zool browser remote element. This will ensure that subsequent mouse move, mouse up events will continue to be dispatched to this element and then forwarded to the child. Because the Zool document has its own event state manager. That's probably what it is. We've captured Neil's patch that fixed the non-ETNS case? Because I saw it. Here. This is the test that caught the problem. I feel like we're getting closer. Mouse down. Mouse moves, fired correct. Yeah. Mouse down. So this thing was added here in bug 1159. Put this in my notes. Well, we explicitly want to prevent that to happen. Look at the blame here. I think when the user clicks and holds in content, we do mouse capture onto the Zool browser. Web content. In the eTennis case, we do mouse capture onto the Zool browser, but then ends patch in bug 1159301 clears that capture if a pop-up is opened. And then I guess because the Zool browser and select pop-up share the same document, same Zool document and ESM, I guess. Dispatching events to the panel works just fine. Does that sound plausible? This might be really tricky. I'm not sure that would work, and I'm not sure that should work. Oh, as in bug 1159301 may not have been the right solution. Send the patch. Or that the solution, the technique for non-ETNS should, or do you mean that it's expected that in the non-ETNS case, the patch in bug 1159 will fail? Talking about select pop, not a random part of the web page. Alright, well here's the good news. I'm talking to someone who kind of knows this stuff. The person's name is Smaug. Maybe it'd be better if I brought, is it okay if I drag this chat session onto my screen? Okay, so Smog has given me the okay to have this conversation live. Thanks. I can't recall the reason for our non-ETNS behavior. Do you, I'm happy to leaf through the blame, but do you have any tips on what I'm looking for? Mouse down. Suppress blur. User focus ignore. Set capturing content to no. Dispatch the content process. What do you have here? I think the question is around why S-active ESM was added. Okay, so we should look at here. Ah, this looks familiar. Maybe. After drag and drop any link text image to content area, mouse click Chrome event elements does not work. So hang on, let's look at this bug. Start minefield, which used to be the name for nightly. With P option, open about home. Drag and drop any text link image to the contents area. Try to click on a menu tool button and tab. Mouse click Chrome elements does not work. Clicking is necessary twice. And there was a regression. Set global active content, set active manager. So they just changed the name there. On mouse up, clear global active content this. Drag drop. Clear global active content on NS drag drop drop. No. That or and something older. The table in the center of the review request page should list the commits for the push. Clicking on the name of the one you are asked to review should bring you to the diff. Can you link me to the review request? That will show you all commits in the series squashed together. So side thing, I'm trying to help someone else out there for a different thing. Content state, set active manager. I don't know if it's this. Clear global active content. On mouse up, we clear global active content. When we drop, we clear global active content. If there's drag over content, then we say that we're in the drag over state. There's a clearer, and the clearer is the event state manager itself. If there is a static active ESM and the clearer is not the active ESM, then we say that I wonder if we should break here. Set a breakpoint here. Just a little happy breakpoint. What? What line is that? Line 5349. Yeah, break 5351. Nope, didn't break until we exited. Then we cleared the global active content. Now, should we have cleared the global active content? That's an interesting question. Like, if I were to open this up in a new tab, disable 11. Like, let's open this up in an E10S tab. Disable 10. So open a new window. So this is an E10S window. Let's see. Let's say enable 11. That's interesting that it positioned it over. Positions it over it as well. That's weird. I don't know if that's like the expected behavior. Sounds wrong. Yeah, that's the expected behavior. That's a weird bug. Okay, enable 11. No, we don't call it. Okay. Only when we exit. Back to the chat. Reviews are reviews, but we want to see coded reviews. The change so that's why that makes it so confusing. So you want to name it. What? Oh. Data loss issues, like when files are removed. Yeah, okay, so Brenny's taking care of that. So clear global active state was not useful. But I feel like we're getting closer. Okay, let's take a quick look and see how our Hawkman's build's doing. Just out of curiosity, because I have an idea. It's done. Okay, here's my plan. I'm gonna try using Hawkman and RR to reproduce this bug, and then try and step through the code a little bit more. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm actually going to use the automated test, and I'm going to use an old technique. So this is the test that revealed the problem, and I'm going to use that test. So I'm going to disable a bunch of these. Translations. Options, mouse move event. This is the one we care about. This one right here. And I think there's one after it, and I'm going to disable it. So if you're not familiar with RR, I've used it before. What it is a record and replay debugger that some folks at Mozilla developed, and it's really, really nice. So I can do time travel debugging. I can record a session and then debug it. Bug 593. So this is also related. Whoopsie daisy. Getting so much data. Six years ago. End state manager active ESM is null. Set global active content to null. What's this bug about? Press left mouse button on the refresh button in the browser Chrome while holding the button down. Move the mouse away from the refresh button down to the content viewport. Release the mouse button. This Marcus filed this. Release the mouse button. Move the mouse back over the refresh button. Notice now that the button has the pressed appearance instead of the merely hovered appearance. Event State Manager probably assumes that we'll get a mouse up event for every mouse down that it receives. Before this bug, integrate iframe into Chrome view hierarchy. That usually happens except when going into drag mode. Drag and dropping a non-button element leaves it matching. Because the widget was doing mouse capturing, now there's no automatic mouse capturing at the Chrome content boundary anymore, so the mouse up gets sent to a different event state manager so active content doesn't get cleared properly. Okay. And this one, iframe browser children of Chrome do not get integrated into the view hierarchy, so they won't interact properly with siblings in terms of z-index and overlap. This was blocking Mozilla 1. Dragging and dropping non-button element leaves it matching active. And this bug is still open. Okay. And then what Smog did was anytime we destroyed the event state manager, we set it to null, this global of active state manager, and then we did this thing where we check to see if there is, like, when we set the global active content, we see if the ESM is not the current one, and if so, we clear it out. Set content state to null on the active, and then we, okay, okay. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. We've got this test here that opens a foreground tab, it gets the pop-up, it waits for the pop-up to be shown, and then it simulates a mouse down and waits for the pop-up to be shown, and then we do a mouse move over the pop-up and attempt to synthesize a mouse up. A mouse move. So by the time we get to here, we'll have mouse moved over the first child. We'll have caused a mouse move event. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do math.sign, then math.cos after. And that probably looks really hacky. This is a really hacky mechanism for using two very rare things that I can set breakpoints on in native code so that I know where we are in the test. And then whenever this occurs, this mouse move, I can like track it. Then I can go back in time. We gotta go back! Okay, so let's see if this test passes in the e10s case, which it should. Popup.js. I have to start up a display server, I think. VNC server. Do I have one? I don't. VNC server. Okay, so now I have a VNC server, so I have a display, and here it is. So here's the display, and then I'll do display mock Moki test, basically this. And this should pass. Come on, copy, paste. Oh no, I need to also use debug build. So we should see the browser start up and display here. That should work. And if so, then it should fail in the non-ETNS case, and then we can use RR. We'll attach RR. I've only got 20 minutes to go. I've got a meeting at 3. I'm gonna go a little long. Okay, here's the plan. Here's the plan. Hopefully I got some sounds here.
Mamma mia!
Mamma mia. We're gonna go a little long here. Oh, like elements from the browser starting to show up in the VNC. So the test is running. Okay. Normally I run this until about 2:30 Eastern time. I'm probably going to go for 2:45. I really like to get this solved before I meet with the MSU students this evening, so that or at least give them a sense of what's going on. So I'm going to go a little long. Sorry about that.
Hey, what happened?
Just playing some sounds there. Okay, so good. It did pass. That's exactly what we wanted. Graphics says. Okay, yeah, okay. Just having here. Whoops, didn't mean to start Slack. No! Quit. Okay. So there is that passing, and now I'm going to do disable ETNS to run the test without ETNS. And meanwhile, I'm going to look at this code again, because this does sound super relevant. Set global active content. Now we don't have that anymore in here, but we must have something similar. Get set content state, active ESM. Yeah, it was set active manager. And we do that whenever we mouse down. Here, when we mouse down. And when else do we do it? That's the only time we do it, when we mouse down. In ESM anyways. And we also do it on an element whenever we mouse down on some element. Post handle. Set active manager, visitor, empress, contents, event state manager. Button, mouse down visitor, set active manager. So maybe we could do that. So this is inside element, just general element. Maybe we could do that for the select element, or the Zool element. Mouse down we do it, and then how about mouse move? No, we don't do it for mouse move. Event state manager. When do we do it here? Oh, that's mouse down again. HTML button element, we do it inside mouse down. So we don't do it for mouse move, ever. That's interesting. That is interesting. So what are we going to do? What are we going to do? So yeah, this test is going to time out. Unexpected fail. Fail, fail, fail. That's not what we expected, or that is what we expected to happen. This test failed because the test timed out, because the pop-up never showed up, because of like our change that we made. What was the change? The test, what does it do? It waits until a mouse up can be synthesized at the center of one, and then it waits for the pop-up to disappear, but that never happens. The pop-up will not disappear, and so that's why it fails. So with disable ETNS, I'm going to get RR working now. Whoop, that's a wide terminal. Holy smokes. Wide terminal. Let's shrink you down. Okay, so how do we get RR to attach to our test instance here? RR usage, there's something about Firefox, recording Firefox, writing tests, debugger equals RR. Don't want chaos mode. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. So it's going to run. RR is doing its thing. I'm going to do its thing for a while. So set active manager only ever changes whenever we click. And here we're dragging. So like, for example, if I were to, let's go to the non-E10S window and go to like a select dropdown, like in a bug. Combine. Nope, I want to go there in this window. So does this mean that like if I were to click, drag, and now like, yeah, look, none of the things are highlighting up here. I don't get any kind of action. Whereas in the E10S case, I wonder if we do. Click, hold. Yeah, yeah, I get tab highlighting, all sorts of stuff. Here, click, here, let's open up a new tab. Click, hold, we're locked. We don't get any mouse events, nothing like that. Okay. Maybe we need to special case select elements to not... what should we do? We need to be able to move the active event state manager to the Zool document state manager. Whenever we hover over this thing. So like we could event state manager, we could clear the active event state manager, like really sloppy, but like set active content, or what was it? Set active manager. What are the is there a way of setting active manager to like, or can we clear active manager? That's good definition of set active manager, clear global active content. Would doing this be enough if we clear the active global content? Is that even public? Can like other things do that? Yeah, we could clear it and pass null. Global window also does it. When we, what do we do here? Enter modal state. Aha. Aha. Active shell. Frame selection. So drag state to false. Set the clear global. Active ESM. Get pres context. Let's try this. Let's try a thing. Clearer. Get active state manager. Let's try this really weird thing before going into that RR business, because I now have that recording. But what I'm going to do is inside NS list control frame, whenever we fire the fire show drop down event, we'll dispatch the Chrome event. Then let's do this really hacky thing where we like try and clear the active state manager. We're gonna clear it. Content is crosstalk descendant of shell. Okay. We're gonna do that. So I'm gonna build that. Mock build. Wait, which? Yeah, mock build binaries. So I can probably reclaim some resources by shutting this thing down. I don't need this VM anymore. I don't need this running Firefox anymore. I don't need to be SSH'd into this machine anymore. Going to detach, exit, quit, exit, exit. Okay, exit, and then I'm going to shut down this VM, reclaim some resources. Good night, sweet prince. This build is now done. So now let's see if by clearing the active state manager after we fire the show dropdown event, we fixed the bug, or at least affected the bug. Because I don't know if it's the right solution. So non-ETNS window, try it yourself. Click. No, did not address the bug. Hmm. So let's go back to our RR recording. RR is done. We timed out. We're going to do RR replay. We're going to break on JS math. What was it? Sign? That was the first one. I think it was sign and then cos. So we're going to break on sign. Yep, we're going to do that. And we're going to break on cos. Yep. Continue. So hopefully that'll attach soon. Let's see. Now, it's I am actually clearing this thing, right? Dispatch. I must be clearing it. Clear global. Set capturing content to null. Set drag state maybe to false. Maybe there's other stuff we should be doing here. Active shell. Get pres context. Like there might be a bunch of extra stuff I need to do. Like get pres shell. Set capturing content to null. Set drag state if active shell. Like just copying like I don't even know what this stuff does, but let's see what happens. Let's just experiment. Meanwhile, our RR replay is occurring. It started the test, it looks like. Oh, it doesn't like this. Was it active frame? No. Error, member, incomplete type, NS frame selection. Never heard of you, it says. NS frame selection is probably something that is imported here. So we got to include that if we're going to do this inside list control frame. Toss the bottom, whatever, don't care, don't care. This is all just experimental. So, okay, so we've hit a breakpoint. What? I hit a sig kill. New thread. Thread received. Okay, I need to be in thread 1, yo. Threads. Info, threads. Detach. What? What just happened? I need to like stay on a particular thread and not thread 1. Like GDB, don't thread switch. Don't all stop mode. All threads, not just the current thread. Set scheduler. Locking. Okay. Breakpoint. I'll select thread where breakpoint GB alerts you context switch. switching to thread. Show scheduler blocking. Scheduler is replay. Oh. Threads. Set thread. Command switch among threads. Thread apply. Command apply to all list threads. Set print. Thread specific breakpoints is what we want. Thread breakpoints. I want to set it in breakpoint. Info threads. Thread specific breakpoints. GDB. Break location, then thread ID. Okay. So info B. So no breakpoints. Break JS. Math sign, and then thread 1. Yes. And then math cos thread 1. Continue. Meanwhile, this is done building, so let's check it out. Oh man, not too much time left. Not too much time left. Click. Nothing. I'm not. Abort. I crashed. I crashed. Failed to do stuff. So clearly something in here went wrong. It probably didn't like this. If frame selection, probably should do that. Because who knows, maybe there wasn't a frame selection. Or I should also make sure that there is an active shell. So in RR, the test is running. Come on, hit my breakpoint. Test runner. It goes to the page. And it was killed. Did I never hit the... Maybe I never got to math sign. Maybe I'm killed before I even get a chance to run it. Math sign. Yield. Mouse down, pop-up shown, synthesize mouth. Dump. Showing pop-up. And then dump. Calling math.sign. And then like dump. Shoulda break pointed. Point break. Alright. So let's run that test again with RR. Don't need to build, it's a test. Meanwhile, what am I doing locally? Run. 5 minutes, and then I'm calling it. The intensity. Okay. Open non-ETNS window. Let's see if it crashes. Click. Crash. Doesn't like. Do not like, it says. Active, probably because there's no pres context. Like if I try and get a pres shell. So maybe I should do it like this. If, then like, do that. Hasn't printed my message yet for the RR build. It's interesting. See if it ever does. Non-ETNS window. Click. Crash. Drat. It's never gotten to my message. So I'm gonna stop you now. Stop. I might have to wait for it to do its natural timeout. Okay. So this is not working. Pres shell. Shell, so not. Drag state false. So maybe I'm gonna get rid of some stuff. Apparently while I'm SSH'd into Hawkman, I can't command C my way out of stuff. That's no good. Like broadcast input. Can I send it? Send command control C. Oh well. Okay, so I never got here. Content select drop down. Wait for event. Mouse down. Attempting to open pop-up. Run. And I should also watch it this time. So I'm going to watch it out of the corner here. Meanwhile, I'm going to test this build that I just made. Gotta open it in a non-ETNS window. Click, hold, crash. Yep, okay. Doesn't like that. So all of this is garbage. And even just to, I'm gonna repeat just to make sure. Clearing the active content is not good enough. So, oh, it's because we need to set the pref in the test. We need to set the pref in the test is why this test is failing. Okay, so that informs that problem right there. And then here, click and drag does not work. Shoot. Well, I could break here. And see what's going on. Maybe. Meanwhile, RR is recording garbage. Test fail because I need to set the pref, yo. Okay. Run. So in here, we're going to set the pref. And don't request longer timeout. I'm going to get rid of that. Pref. Math assign. And then services prefs. Set bool pref. And then what was it? What's the pref you fellas created? Oh man, going over time, going over time. Combine, select, Ethernet, non-Ethernet. Pref. DOM select this thing. In parent enabled. So true. Okay, now run test again. Do it. And over here, we're doing this thing. And now I'm gonna attach Xcode for greater good. Set a breakpoint. I'm doing several things at once. If this is confusing, it's because I'm hurrying. Because I wanna. I said I'd finish at 1:45, and it's 13:02, and I got a meeting at 3. Shoot. And now I have to install extra components for Xcode. Hurry up! Oh, go. That's right. Okay, good. So this is failing. Should have breakpointed. Okay, good. And we're failing. And so this should fail very soon. What are you doing, Xcode? Xcode's probably installing things. So maybe I'll just use LLDB directly. Can I? Yes. Okay. So please no okay. Sudo LLDB and then attach, and then what was the name of the process? Attach. Shoot. Okay. Attach 51228. And then I want to break at fire show dropdown event. Pump up the font. Continue. Okay, so now in this debug build in non-E10S mode, I need a non-E10S window. Click. And now I've probably hit my breakpoint. Yep. I'm going to fire that event. We're figuring out which event to fire. And we're going to dispatch that event. And then I want to step inside here. P active ESM. What is active ESM? Okay. And now break event state manager clear global active content. Continue. So if there's a clearer, PA clearer. We skipped over that first block. Clearer is null. We were past null. So we passed null. Interesting. Step finish. Next. So P active ESM is null. So there is no active state manager. There was no active state manager. There was no active state manager at the time when I clicked. What? Set active manager. Yes, set that. A breakpoint there. So now we're firing the show drop-down event on when I click. And then we clear, and then we set the manager, and then we clear it again. Okay, so about this. Click to set it. So now we have an active state manager. Now I click to fire the show drop-down event, and then PA clearer is null. Now we set the active state manager. From what? From handle the click event. Finally handle the click event. Then we set the active state manager, and then we clear it. From what? From probably the mouse up. Interesting. So by the time we fire the event, oh, we click. Okay. Starting to think of things. So when we click, we fire the event that causes the parent to open the pop-up, and then we set the active state manager. So we might be clearing the active state manager in the wrong place. Where would we be? Might be clearing it because we clicked on the item. Clear active state manager. Clear global active content. I don't think we want to expose that to JS. But maybe when the pop-up appears where Neil did his thing. Okay, I have another idea. Neil, oh, I got 5 minutes. 5 minutes until my next meeting. All right. This is it, folks. Combine. I gotta find the other bug. Where's the other bug? Here. Oh, I put it in my notes. Here was the other bug. Neil had this thing where if a pop-up shows up, then we clear the capturing content. What if we also clear the active state there? Let's do that. So instead of here in list control frame, save, and then in NS menu pop-up frame, show pop-up. We're gonna do it right here. Now I don't know if this even makes sense, because then who's like receiving the events? Like we might just make it so that nothing can receive events anymore. But let's see what happens. Kill. I don't care. Gonna crash. Build with default. So I'm not gonna do a debug build. This is the last idea, and then I gotta go. Then I have to go. And meanwhile, Hawkman did its thing, and so if I were to do like that replay, and then break our B, JS, math, sign, thread 1, and then cos, and then continue, that'll go. Here we go. This might not work, but let's see what happens. Open non-ETNS window. Click. Hey! Okay, if we clear the active state manager, so it's working now. This is a non-ETNS window. Holy smokes, right at the buzzer. Okay, I don't know if this is the right move, but that's what we can do. Like that is a thing that we might be able to do. Okay, I have I can pitch this. I can pitch this to Neil and Smog and see if they like it. So to reiterate, I have found what might be a solution. And let's just see if the test passes now that I've got that. I'm going to have to do the same little trick inside the test, browser-based content test, browser, select, general, browser, select, pop-up. I have to set the pref here, services, prefs, set bool pref. And then what was the name of the pref? That one. To true. Okay, now run the test. Run the test. Okay, test, browser base, content test, general, browser, select pop-up. Select pop-up.js, disable e10s, do the test pass. They sure do. Okay, we got a plan. We have a plan forward. Thank you so much for watching episode 77 of The Joy of Coding. Boy, I hope you found that as exhilarating as I did. Wow, what a day. What a day. I'm going to write my findings. If you're curious about what I've more or less figured out, if my rambling didn't explain it, I'm going to write it down into my notes here, and I'm going to also put it into the associated bug 1300784 so that the MSU students know what is up. And I think that's it. Thanks again for watching. Really appreciate it. If you enjoyed this episode, let me know. There is a rate this episode link in the additional links section. It might also be in the description if you're watching this on YouTube. Let me know what you thought of this episode. If it was a little crazy, I apologize. I was kind of all over the place and got desperate for time, and I really have to go. So thanks again for watching The Joy of Coding, episode 77. Take care. Bye-bye.
The joy of coding.
See ya.